AskReddit by the Blacksmith 4605. What is the worst country to be a neighbor to that isn't in a war right now? Probably the Central African Republic, because it means you're living in one of the poorest countries in the world, in addition to the political instability. The car has been in a civil war since 2014. Australia is such a terrible neighbor that nobody shares a land border with us. And we put a barrier reef around it and stocked the oceans with bull sharks and box jellyfish. It's like God gave up hinting and said, in block capitals, this place is shit, have some more venomous snakes. Well, I don't know how bad your neighbors are, but those Kiwis won't shut up about the rugby. Well, it's easy when Australians keep losing. Which country that isn't at war? Redditors, I know they're at war, but every time. Venezuela claiming parts of their neighbor's territory seems like a good candidate. Similarly, China has border disputes with 8 of their neighbors. Haiti. The Dominican Republic shares an island and large border with a failed state. They have got to keep out desperate people trying to escape a country without law and order. Is that barbecue guy still in charge? Ask the Dominican Republic. DR is building a bigger wall right now too. I would say Nigeria. So many of the countries around Nigeria have abject poverty and Nigeria is growing at a rate of knots, full of corruption. I thought it was full of princes. How the fuck does any of our world get along? I used to think that having the internet would create friendships that would unify future generations. I'm an idiot. If anything, it just amplifies everything. Myanmar kinda sucks right now. Huge amount of civil war and the largest meth producing area in the world right next to your border isn't ideal. I was gonna say this. I'm of Bengali origin and there is no way in hell a country as overpopulated, flooded and damp, under-resourced can afford to take on Rohingya refugees. For the people that say Mexico, just be glad the USA doesn't share a 2,000-mile border with a China or Haiti-style government. Mexico literally helped Americans during Hurricane Katrina. Mexico does a lot of the dirty work with immigration control. Mexico manufactures billions of dollars of America's goods. Mexico doesn't really do much harm to the USA. Mexico is arguably a better neighbor to have. Ukraine would trade Mexico for Russia any day. Mexican immigration to America has sharply dropped in recent years due to improvements in conditions there. Most of the illegal immigration is from folks further south than Mexico. North Korea, although technically they are still at war. They've got the immigration control down pat though. Haiti. Haiti is at war with itself. Mongolia. Because you'd have to be in Russia or China. Several cities in China have average personal incomes on par with Central Eastern Europe and better infrastructure. As a Caribbean person, I might prefer a vacation there than a lot of places. The fact no one has said Nigeria yet makes me worried. You should all be paying more attention to Nigeria. Curious enough to ask, what is happening with Nigeria? Only thing I know of that country is that it has about 200+ million people. Filipino here. China, CCP can go fuck 11's ass. My sympathy with Taiwan too. China is a problem to all its neighbors. Like Pakistan. No wonder they're allies. New Zealand, they keep trying to claim they invented pavlova. I know, right? Everything Aussie they try claim is theirs. Pavlova, Russell Crowe, they can have him. Farlap, the All Blacks rugby team, crowded house, it's ridiculous, hey. People's Republic of China. One of the most antagonistic neighbors you could have. From threats of invasion to border skirmishes over the Himalayas and the China Sea, China has got you covered. They have a border disagreement with literally every single one of their neighbors. China, I'm just saying they have border conflicts across the map, and puppet states for days. I think North Korea still takes the cake, because North Korea is a problem to China, too. NK soldiers do murderous robbery expeditions over the Chinese border. Border villages are deserted because of this. For China this is extremely embarrassing, so it's likely you haven't heard of it. Democratic Republic of Congo, they be raiding villages here and there and cutting titters and heads off. Some Congolese might therefore say Rwanda is a bad neighbor. China, from a Vietnamese perspective. Quiet Tuvalu noises. Egypt, it has 3 borders and all of them are in the middle of brutal wars. So if you're a neighbor to Egypt it means that you're at war. The people saying the US Canada are absolutely delusional. The US and Canada have the longest unsecured border in the world. They have one of the largest trade relationships in the world and share a $1.95 trillion bilateral trade and investment relationship. They share joint defense cooperation including some combined American-Canadian units and a number of exchange officer billets, Five Eyes intelligence sharing, and defense material cooperation. Canada and the US are each other's largest importers of external energy resources at $236.9 billion in bilateral energy trade. They are partners on environmental protection issues and have many joint agreements and treaties such as the 1991 Canada-US Air Quality Agreement. These two countries are about as interconnected and mutually beneficial for each other as nations can be. To even suggest that either would be the worst neighbor is absurd. And all the hockey. China, they are literally claiming our islands as theirs. Building infrastructures around the place, guarding the ocean, harassing our fishermen. Bruh, China just casually built a village in our state of Arunachal Pradesh, India, like WTF dude.